Hi besties. So what I thought we'd do today is I have this beautiful white BFL that I've washed up. This was the ultra fine fleece. So I think what I want to do is something I do not do very often. I want to spin a full worsted. Now instead of combing, I do have my hand card secured and I'm going to flick each lock. Just instead of using a flicker, I'm going to flick it this way, but it's the same result. And we are going to attempt to spin a full worsted yarn. I say attempt because I usually get bored. But I am going to try my best to stick to a full worsted. So what we'll do is flick each lock individually, spin each lock individually, and we're going to go tail to tip. I'm trying to remember, scales go like this. So if I do it this way, then that smooths the scales. Yes, so tail to tip. That's my plan. So let's get set up and get at this. 1 second. I have my hand card secured to my bar stool there. And what I'm going to do, grab a little bit of fleece here. I want to try to keep that lock formation so that I can do a true worsted. So, I'm going to peel off a lock. And I want to keep the orientation the same. So, that's the tip. That's the butt. Now it's a little harder to tell with a white fleece than it is with a colored fleece, because with a colored fleece you get the sun bleached tips. So what I want to do is butt. The butt is to my left. All right, so grab a few locks, wrap them around my finger, and flick them onto the hand card. Now, because this is such a fine fleece, I'm expecting to get some breakage at the tips, which is fine because they will break off before I spin. And we'll reverse it, and now we're working on the butt. And just working our way up. I've still got the butt facing that way. All right, and I'm going to turn it around, tips, just so I'm keeping track. And we want our butts to go to the left. I'm just going to do up a few more. And then we're going to get spinning. Turn around. Yes, I'm always making weird noises. Right, one more brush through just to open up those center fibers. Tip, butt. These are such fine little curls. They're so pretty. I still want to do them up in a textured yarn, but I've got tons of fleeces I can do that with. Now this one was the finest, but I did some colored. So now we're just going to try a little bit of worsted with the white. Because I mean, why not? I have about half a pound, so I can do some worsted. Yes. And I can do some textured. All right. Tip, tip, tip. I know I'm so annoying with the little noises and stuff I make, but hey, that's just me. I'm used to living alone, so I make noises. All right, got all our tips. Now, what I'm doing when I start is I'm just kind of tapping it onto the card just to sort of open that up. Yeah, there is that much variation in length. Okay, let's try to even them up a little bit. Okay, so as I was saying, I'm just kind of tapping it on the card just to get it to open up. And once it starts, then I can just start sort of pulling towards me a little bit until there's no more resistance. And then I can comb through. But if you try to just comb it through right through from the start, you're just going to rip your fiber. You got to first open it up with the tapping. And then as it starts to open, start pulling towards you just a little bit, but you're still mostly tapping sort of with the flick towards you. And then when it finally opens up, then you can just comb it. And I'm going to go back over here. Hold on. Put that in the scrap basket. And we'll give this end another comb. All right. And this is the butt. Butt. I'm going to take some of this fluff off so we can see what we're doing. And you can see how the fine veggie matter just falls out as you're doing this. It's not getting caught up in the fiber, which is why another reason why I like this method. So just tap it down on the card to get it to open up. Adjust as needed. Get those tips to open up. Now they're starting to open up, so I'm going to start flicking it a little bit towards me as I'm tapping it on the card. You can see that this lock came right out, so I'll just say that. Now we're going to reverse, but now we're going to do butts. So tap them first to get them to open up and start pulling them a little bit towards you. But again, not too hard or you're going to rip the fiber. Just more tapping motion with a little flick. And just as needed. Okay, you can see how that's all fluffy and open, but there's little bits and stuff here. So I'm going to turn this so that this piece will be hitting on the card. All right. And now I can start kind of flicking it a bit towards me until we lose the resistance, at which point we can comb it through. Get all those fibers nice and fluffy and open. Okay, so that's the cut end. We're going to go back to the tips now because you can see we missed a spot there. So we'll start there, flick it onto the card till it opens up, then start with a little flip towards you. And carefully you don't smack your fingers on the card, which I've already done like a dozen times, but whatever. All right, so there we go. These are tips, these are butts. So we've got our first little bit of fiber, and we're gonna spin this worsted. Charge up our leader. It was spinning S, so I need to unwind it and rewind it. Okay, so spinning from the butt. I'm going to grab my fiber and kind of spread it out a little bit so I'm not grabbing all the butts at once. And true worsted means no twist gets into the drafting zone, which is right here. So I'm going to start spinning. I'm going to draft it out to what I want, and then I'm going to smooth my fingers over it. Worsted is a very compact, smooth yarn. So we want to keep this as smooth as possible. Ooh, I got a little thin there. Now, worsted with BFL makes such a gorgeous yarn because BFL has that subtle shine to it. But for me, it does take a lot of focus. So this is why I don't do it very often, because I'm not, you know, a totally focused person. I suspect I might have a mild case of ADHD, but we don't know. So we're just going to draft that out a little bit so we're not fighting our fiber. Draft, smooth your fingers over it. Draft, smooth, draft, and smooth. The whole goal of this is to be such a smooth, compact yarn. Keyword being smooth, in case you didn't get that. Which is why it's probably so anti-me, is because I'm such a textured yarn spinner. Now, this is generally the way that I like to do my worsted, is I start draft, slide, draft, slide. I just keep working my way back, and then I put it all on the wheel at once. For some reason, this seems to work best for me. But you figure out what kind of draw you want to use, so long as you remember, do not let twist into your drafting zone, and smooth your fingers over that yarn. So we'll grab our next one, and we want to spin from the butt. I don't think it matters if you spin tip or butt, but I have chosen butt, so I'm going to keep going in the same direction. Now, we're going to want to do a worsted join, which means we bring the fiber in from the side, let the fibers catch on, draw it down, and now we're going to go back to our smooth so that we didn't let any twist into that drafting zone. And again, this is just how I'm comfortable working with the fiber, is to do short backward draws, but to do several of them and then feed it all onto the wheel. And just keep that twist out of your drafting zone. Now let's see how our ply back is looking. Yeah, that's nowhere near enough twist. So what we're going to do is go to our smallest whirl. I don't know what the ratio is. I am no good with remembering ratios. But that's what we're going to do, so we can keep our treadling speed the same, but add way more twist. And then onto the wheel. All right, now we need to add a new piece. So I'm going to just draft this out a little bit. I always find when I'm spinning worsted, I go very thin. And I don't know why, but that's just the way it goes. So worsted join, bring your fiber in, let it catch, pull it down, and now you're ready. It'll make a very smooth join. Again, magic word with this, smooth. And I am so not smooth. So, you know, that's why it's a challenge for me. But I'm going to do it anyways, because sometimes we need a bit of challenge for ourselves. All right, now you can see here, there's a little clump of fiber. So what I'm going to do is going to go back and see if there's actually just a little tangle in there, and just kind of pull it out so we can then smooth our yarn. Now I'm just doing a short forward draw here So you just pull your fiber forward, then smooth your fingers down it. All right, let's check out our twist now. Oh, it's still horrible. So I need to tread a little faster. All right. So grab our next one. Join the fibers. Pull out, down. All right, now we're going to treadle faster. And we're going to do our short forward draw way back here, so it's going to get a lot more twist in it before it goes on the wheel. Now, I find when I do short forward draw, I tend to get little clumps, which is why I like to do the backwards. Do several short backwards and then feed them onto the wheel. For me, I just find it keeps my fibers smoother. It keeps me from getting clumps. Oh, and here's a Bobo come for a visit. Because he knows I'm doing something, of course. Hi, baby. How are you? Okay. So, worsted join. Come in from the side. Hold it there. And catch. There we go. And then pull it down. Now, I'm just getting started, so my consistency isn't great, but I also haven't done, like, spun for a true worsted in a long, long time. So I'm just sort of getting the feel for it back, and then I'll worry about more of my consistency. Now, see here, this is why I like to do a short backward draw. You can see my fibers kind of clumped up a little bit, but my butts are still here. So I can pinch them there and kind of straighten this out. And there we go. And that's why I like doing the backward draw. I find the forwards draw, I just make a mess. So you can see a little bit clumpy. I can stretch it out, but I can also grab the fibers that I want. And here it's getting a little thin, so I can grab the fibers I want. I just feel I have much more control when I'm doing a backwards draw. Now, when I'm adjusting my grip, to keep that twist from going into my fiber supply, I'm cranking it like this so my thumb is kind of stopping that twist from traveling while I adjust my fingers in my grip. So you can see how you push your thumb like this. That's going to stop the twist from traveling while you adjust your fingers. It works as like a dam, because if you think of twist as water, you want to control that water. So use your thumb as a dam. All right. Now, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a shit sample, but we're going to do it anyways. So as Sadie likes to call it, the turkey hand, the plying bracelets. So I'm just going to go around the back of my hand, around my finger, but pull off lots. So it doesn't have to be tight around your hand. In fact, it's better if it's not tight around your hand. And you can let the little pigtails form. That's fine. Oop. They will all come out in the plying. Now, this bobbin, I figured out why it makes that noise. It's because one of the bushings is worn out. And if you haven't heard, Lundrum, I can't remember if it's Gord or George, I think it's Gord, has retired and will no longer be making Lundrum wheels. And I've been trying to find some replacement parts, bearings and whatnot, but everything is out of stock at the moment. I assume that they will continue to be available, but at the moment, I am not able to get them. So I'm going to change this bobbin once I get this fiber off of it, so I don't have to put up with that racket anymore. I also need a new bushing for my mother of all, because that one is getting worn out as well. So when I find them available, I will stock up. I get multiples, so I can keep my Lendrum wheel forever, because I don't ever want to lose Lars. He's my baby. And like bushings are not a big deal to change out when you have them. Okay, so then we're going to tie our ends together. And because I left it nice and loose, it's like easy peasy to pull off. Oh, except I forgot I put a different ring on that finger. Uh-oh. Okay, here's why you don't have spiky rings when you do this. There we go. And we're going to apply S. I have to change this leader because it actually broke about halfway up. Okay, so we get our two plies even here. And again, we're going to keep the twist out of the drafting zone. I'm just going to slide my fingers down here because I got a little bit of twist in there. All right, hand goes like this. Line up our plies and then smooth the twist in. Line up our plies and just guide that twist. There, I didn't say smooth. You thought I was going to say smooth again. We should turn this into a drinking game. Every time I say smooth, drink! I'm going to just guide that twist in. So line up your plies, guide that twist in. We're going for uber smooth. There, again, drink! Now, I'm probably putting way too much twist into this, but we're going to have a look. Oh, actually, it's not bad at all. So it's going to give us this gorgeous, pearly texture definition to it. That's the beautiful part about worsted. Oh, my plies aren't quite aligned there. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of fuzzy spots. So apparently my worsted spinning still stinks. But what the heck? It's not going to improve if I don't do it more. So I shall just keep trying. All right, let's use our body knotty. Oh, it looks so pretty. I do love a worsted. I just generally don't have the patience for it, which is really funny, but that's just the way it is. Okay, I'm just going to adjust the camera so you can get a close look at this, so you can see why worsted is the gold standard. So the camera is being stubborn. Let's try this way. There we go. Now you can see, like especially right in here, how it's got that pearly texture. My hands are a mess, so I hate to use them as your backdrop, guys, but you know, it is what it is. So you can see like how perfect worsted looks with those little beaded plies. And you can see the gleam on it that comes from using BFL. It makes such a gorgeous worsted yarn. But I think what I'm going to do is I am going to actually comb up a bunch just to make it a quicker spin for me. And then we will spin ourselves some worsted because it is looking absolutely fantastic. And I'm hoping if I comb it up, I can go for a thicker yarn because this is a pretty fine 2-ply, as you can see. And I would like something just a smidge thicker. So I'm going to find my combs and get them set up. And we're going to, now that we've sampled, we're going to make ourselves some worsted BFL. What fun! Now I have hit the end of my energy for today, so we'll take this up tomorrow. So as you've probably seen in the time lapse, these combs are not fine enough to comb this fleece easily. And these combs are a little better, but they don't hold much and it takes a long freaking time. And that's one of the things that frustrates me about worsted is the time. So I think we're going to switch it up. We're going to save this fleece for textured spinning because those little tips are just so perfect for texture. And I think what we will do is comb up some of this fleece instead, because I think it's going to comb much better and we can do a worsted with this. So let me switch up my fleeces and we will get combing some of the gray brown wool for worsted spinning. All right, let's get back to work. And here we are. I gave up on combing because apparently it's not going well for me today. So I just spun up what I had combed. As you can see, there's a lot of over twist in this, but this is how I do my worsted to get it as tight and smooth as I can to give it that pearl-like look to the individual strands. Let's go this way. And it gives that BFL, just gives it such a nice subtle shine. So I will wash this and snap it quite a bit. And then when it dries, if I still have this much active twist in it, because some of this also comes from I don't let my singles rest before I apply because I'm impatient. So that twist is still very, very active. So once I wash this and let it set up, it should ease quite a bit. See how much over twist there is in there? But if that doesn't straighten it out, then I just run it back through the wheel, take a little bit of the twist out, and it'll even right out. But I'm actually not concerned about this. I know I should be, but I'm not, because I know when I wash and snap it and let that twist relax, it'll be fine. Pretty sure anyways. Let's have some real fun with it. Here it is in my hands. You can see how twisty it is. So I'm going to go give it a wash, give it a good soak, snap it a couple of times, and then I'll be back to show you the end results, because I really think it's going to even out. It's so twisty, but I'm not afraid of this. Okay, I'm going to go wash this and we'll see how it looks when it dries. And if need be, we'll run it back through the wheel. Well, it dried a lot faster than I expected. Here it is. See? A lot of that active over twist is gone. It does still have some crimpy bits. Hold on. So you can see there's still bits where it's got some curlicues and a little bit of over twist. But it's nowhere near as bad as it was when I first took it off the bobbin. As you can see, it actually lays flat. But look at that sheen in that. It's so pretty. But you can see how just a wash, a good wash and a bit of a snap just to distribute that twist can save what looks like a very severely over twisted yarn and makes it actually quite nice and usable. So there is my worsted spin, and I'm probably not going to do this again for another year just because worsted makes me crazy. I don't know. I like the look of it, but oh, my boys are knocking stuff over. Let's just get some of the colors laid out here so you can see how the gray with gray and the gray with white looks, and how it gets that beautiful definition, like little pearls. It's so pretty, but it's such a pain in the butt to make, at least in my books. I mean, plenty of people love making worsted, and it's good to know how to make a worsted, but it's just, it's not, I guess it's just too structured for me, probably, because I'm, you know, the embodiment of chaos. But it's good to know I can do it when I want to still. If I put my mind to it. But that'll be it for today, guys. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.